Glad to have you back. It's the Business Daily right here on Trust Television. I have Dr. Sam Omale now joining me virtually from London. Good morning, Doctor.
Good morning and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you, Doctor. Good to see you, sir. I did a quick analysis of some gains recorded in the stock market, and of course we saw the likes of Abdulsamad Rabiu, Aliko Dangote, Mike Adenuga recording a huge gains there in the capital market. What will you say with regard to such gain that we recorded by those billionaires?
Yeah, you look at the fiscal performance of the specific companies in the economy. If you take the man who made 9 billion, what are his companies? The cement factories, cement. What are his products? How has he improved the overall economy of Nigeria? You see, there's a difference between production or services and products improving the economy than merely stock appreciation. Stock appreciation by itself does not translate into economic performance. It can be speculated. We can create news that can make people to jump into the market and exaggerate the price, the real value of the stocks. So my problem with Nigerian stocks is, how are they valued? What is the formula for their valuation? And why is it that they are not actually affected by real economic indicators like central bank pronouncements, changes in inflation, changes in interest rates? They're not even affected by it. So I'm not impressed, or it doesn't encourage me at all to say that the stock market in Nigeria is contributing to the overall economic performance. The companies or the industries involved are supposed to translate into services that are affordable to the people, that improve the life of the household.
Indeed. Do you think maybe the investors in the capital markets are okay with the government reforms? Probably the exchange rate unification is inviting them to the market, because since 2024 or towards the end of 2023, we saw this, upward trajectory in the capital market, and it has continued. Even the year 2026, we're seeing some signs that the market is also trading in green.
Yes, some policies have really encouraged investors to come back to the market, but I'm still grappling with the valuation methodology, because this is area I'm grappling. How, if you say a company is doing well on the stock market, all I need to do is to go to the factory. All I need to do is to go to the market and see where their products are being bought, are being used. How have the product become popular in the marketplace? It's not in the stock market that you determine that. So if they say this bank is going high, this company is going high, what are the products and services doing in the overall macroeconomic side? That's the problem I have. Like I said, price appreciation of stocks is something that has to be translated in the actual performance of the company in the marketplace. Otherwise, it can because it can be speculated, it can be artificially fixed, it can be artificially induced. So the question I keep asking you is, the products of these companies, these 6 companies or so that have gained so much for their investors. What are their services? Are their services affordable now? For all I know, the bank sectors in that statistics we gave, they have 1,001 commissions and fees they're charging us. It's not because they're giving out loans. It's not. The bank earning in Nigeria is not based on asset formation or creation. It's not based on loans. It's based on It's 1,001 commission they charge. You put money, they charge you. You take money, they charge you. that is not what performance is about. This cement people, or the crude oil and all that, have they improved? Have the prices is they affordable to Nigerians? Has it improved, instigated? Okay, has it instigated other activities in the economy? That's the problem. Otherwise, anybody can. For all I know, I think some of these people are even that used to be the president or chairman or so of the stock market, which is also an abnormality. I don't know whether it's still there. Anybody who has shares, or who buys shares, who has any activity in the capital market, should not be an officer or a board member of the capital market itself, which is something I find so strange in Nigeria, that you have chairmen or presidents of stock exchange who have companies traded on that same market. I mean, it's not done anywhere else in the world. So actually, I don't have faith in those statistics, and they don't change my mind that the economy of Nigeria still is in very, very infancy state. It has not improved at all.
Indeed, talking about the Nigeria's economy not improve at all. In 2025, it showed mixed result. Strong macroeconomic growth, of course, talking about GDP of 3.9%, which is expected to hit 4% by the time the next GDP is out. The stock market boom, the rising reserve, as well as driven by reforms and non-oil sector, but persistent hardship by citizens, like you rightly pointed out. And of course, the issue of inflation, poverty, also key highlight that is creating more like a gap between stability and, of course, improvement in daily life. What will you say? The government is making, alluded to a lot of numbers, talking about the stock market performance, which was 48.12%, the foreign reserve, which currently stands at 45.4 billion naira. Do you think this macroeconomic improvement has any impact on the local economy?
No. I mean, even the statistics are very miserable by themselves. Because if you talk about the foreign reserve, what was the reserve 10 years ago? There was a point in Nigeria where it was 60-something billion. And for the past 10 years, they've been going around this 30-something, 40-something billion. It's not really improved dramatically that we can begin to roll out the drums. Then, the figures or the reports government write are mere storytelling, and it's only good on paper, but it cannot be translated in the real economy. So government can rake out. I mean, when I read those reports, you can see the contribution from every. I know what paragraph Central Bank contributed. I know what paragraph Minister of Finance contributed. I know what paragraph. They just join these write-ups and put it to the public view, but does not translate in the real economy and improvement of lives. Looking at that report, the drivers still come from oil sector. We're talking of 2025-26. Oil should be de-emphasized. We're talking about tax as the drivers of this thing. Tax comes from production. Tax comes from people paying on what they earn. Company paying corporate or corporation taxes on what they earn on production. That is not the case. Taxes are being put to extract money from non-productive things. Cheap taxes and written in a different ways cannot improve the economy. The investment that we should be happening on cannot come in because they will say security has improved. But look at what happened in Niger just 2 days ago. So what's happening in Zafara? See what's happening all over the place. There's so much chaos all over the place that investment cannot improve. So these are the things that we should be focusing on, and not to write these glossy reports that look good on paper but cannot be translated in the real economy. I'm interested in the real economy. I want to see how many jobs have been created. I did mention the job creation from reasons. Did anybody give us on jobs, which is the main thing? So what is the status on jobs? What is the status of earning people? What is the status of livelihood, improvement of livelihood, on housing unit, on transportation? These are the things that impact real people and the real economy, not this classroom academic presentation.
Doc, what about the stability in the fiscal and monetary system?
Yeah, the stability is commendable. I'm really interested, especially with the naira, we're at least finding a realistic exchange rate, and the fact that we don't have a single exchange rate makes it's good for planning, it's good for certainty, it's good for, I mean, it erodes this arbitrage and speculation that was going on several years ago. That definitely is a good thing. It brings confidence to the economy. And the physical, yeah, the government seems to be together. There's no government is having a good ride with the legislators' houses. So there's no confusion at all in the fiscal realm. Whatever executive government says had to be stamped, is rubber stamped by the Senate and the House. So there's no confusion. And again, there's a synergy now between the fiscal authority and the monetary authority. They seem to be, they're working together these days instead of, rather than in the previous years where there was this dichotomy, this non-cooperation between the Central Bank and the Ministry of Finance before. But now they're working together, which is good for confidence and is good for planning, is good for attaining the government overall goal in an economy in every area. The target for inflation, target for growth, target for everything. If the fiscal and the monetary authorities work together, that's fine. So yeah, that's definitely an area I'm very impressed. The monetary policy stabilization and the kind of firm, calm leadership that has come to the bank definitely is something that I am very, very, very impressed.
Doc, you believe Naira is, the current rate is more like the real value of the Naira?
Yeah, well, yeah, I mean, you have to agree. You have to agree because there's, you see, like our problem is self-inflicted. There's so much dollarization in Nigerian economy. It's only in Nigeria I hear of dollars as if it's the national currency. It's only in Nigeria I hear of other currencies, the pound, the sterling, as if they are the national currencies. It's an abnormality. It doesn't happen anywhere else. So we're the one afflicting injuries on our national currency. One of the functions of the governor of Central Bank, one of in fact, there are three functions, but one of the major ones is the defense of the national money, or the currency of the nation. That is a major task of Central Bank. How are they doing it? Why should there be domiciliary accounts in Nigeria? I'll take that out. Because what's happening is that people are changing naira and putting into foreign currencies because they think it's a steady currency and they see it as an investment these days, which is the real thing working against the naira. Why are we pricing 30 things, rents, school fees, anything at all in naira? I mean, in dollars. Why? Which country prices anything, products and services in a foreign currency? Which country does that? Which country can you bring a foreign currency, like I bring dollar and go to my account here and put dollar in it? It doesn't happen. But Nigeria, you bring naira, I mean dollar, and put it like that. What happens is, if what I want Central Bank and never happen to do right from now going, if anybody brings the pound or the dollar to put in any in a denominator account, so-called, they should first of all exchange it into the naira, and then if you want the pound or currency value, then back to the currency they want to put in.
All right.
That way, 2-3 commission already. You see, but they don't do that in Nigeria. You go bring your raw dollar, you put it in dollar account. You want to take it back, and if you want to take the dollar from your account, they first of all exchange it to the national currency, and then convert it to the money you want to take. That's how they discourage people from speculation, from fighting or using foreign currencies as an investment. So we are the one fighting the naira. Now, our services, our holidays, our schools, medicals, there's so much demand for the foreign exchange, for dollar and other foreign exchanges. That is it. So demand outstrips the supply, and therefore the naira will continue to go down. And that's why government overall policy, overall planning should be how can we improve the economy such that we don't take our children abroad for schools. We have good schools, we have good hospitals, we have all the things in place. So there's no, I keep saying, there's no monetary policy manipulation or mechanics Central Bank can do to stabilize the naira. Apart from what they have done by saying, look, there's a single exchange rate. That's what they can do. The other thing has to be the fiscal and the psychology of Nigerian people to respect. Correct.
Dr. Doc, do you think there is a lack of faith in the economy, given the way it has been managed over the years? I mean, the policy somersaults and quite a whole lot that we have experienced in the past. A government will introduce a policy, the next government to come in and reverse that same policy. Do you think this is creating more like a lack of faith in the economy?
Sure, definitely, because no investor or no diplomat, no foreign government, no individual will have faith in a government in a country that does not have steady policy statements. A policy is like a law. A policy is like a guide. This is where we are going. And these are the principles. Policies are principles that guide behavior. So if you keep changing them, there is uncertainty on how a government can react to a certain thing. How do you react to insecurity? How do you react to this? If there is no national understanding of this is how we are going to deal with this as a principle, as a policy, then people will not have faith in that kind of thing. And because Nigerian politics has polluted everything. It's a very, very agricultural, very primitive politics we are doing that does not have any depth, does not have any vision, does not have any economic value in what we are doing. So the policies, instability, inconsistencies, and somersaults are some of the things that would create people, would tell people, would make people not have faith, because what's going to happen next? What's going to happen next? Indeed. If this government goes and no one comes, or even within the same government, there's pressure somewhere and they change, nobody will have faith in that kind of government or economy.
Indeed. Yeah. Doc, there is also another issue. There is structural issues. We understand government is giving itself pass mark as well, but there's structural issues that need to be addressed. The issue of insecurity, the issue of logistics, the issue of energy costs. I mean, this is hindering broad-based growth across the country. What outlook do you expect in 2026?
To be fair, I don't want to be pessimistic, but I cannot see any. In fact, the danger is that we're going to politicize this thing. That's the whole thing. We're going to be running around the drums and beating and making a lot of noise on what we are going to do or what we have done. But the reality on ground will still stare us in the face that Nigeria is in difficult times. The insecurity. I mean, there's kidnapped between Lokoja and Abuja yesterday. They are kidnapped all over the place. People are in parties, they are being bombed out. People are in mosques, they are being bombed out. People, you cannot live your life. You don't have the sanity of peace of mind to think and to do something well. So this order, they have ordered the defense to go and do this. It doesn't make any sense. Let's see them doing the thing. Or you see some few bodies on the floor, military terminates something. No, they're not that very childish reportage I see online and on television. That we have to be determined to deal with that insecurity. Niger, for example, Niger State is in the heart of Nigeria. I don't understand how we cannot mop the terrorists in that place. They are not on the border of another country. They are in the heart of Nigeria. I'm not a military person, but common sense will know that these people are within this area. How can you not mount to arrest them? And they go in large numbers, 50, 100, or motorbikes. What kind of country is that? So we're not serious on the things we're doing. Then on institutions, there's what we call institutional risk. And institutional risk will deal with things like corruption, a weak framework, institutional framework. And these things will continue to undermine the marketplace, undermine the economy. If you set up EFCC is an institution that deals with corruption, deals with issues of economic malfeasance. Now, but if the EFCC action is targeted, it's not, I mean, it makes a caricature of the whole thing. That is not a serious institution. Some people who were inducted, who have been arrested and jumping the fence and all this drama last year are with the government. We're not hearing their cases anymore. So that person, so the whole thing is a laughing stock. The institution in Nigeria, very funny.
All right.
Corruption. If INEC is doing this work, and INEC better be careful now, because we now know that you cannot rig election. You cannot do some shabby thing and put somebody on us that we didn't vote for. External forces are going to pick that person up. Now we know.
Indeed.
So we better do things. Let our institutions be functional. Let people vote who they want to vote in. Nobody should impose themselves on us, and they impose themselves, and they're not doing the work.
Indeed.
So we have to this year we have to be very serious. Period.
Indeed, we need to be very, very serious. Prof, poverty and food insecurity is another issue. Of course, the festive season just ended, and of course, a lot of Nigerians had to celebrate it on a very, very low key because of the economic difficulties and, of course, high cost of living. But yet, government is giving itself a pass mark. How will you rate yourself? I mean, can't you wait for the citizen to rate you based on their experiences?
You know, when government begins to rate itself, you know that there's a problem already. Government perform. You just do your work. In fact, don't even rate yourself, because that's what your job is. You were brought in to solve problems. Look, government is about solving problems. So you don't begin to pat yourself at the back. This is what I've done. No, let the people see. But for all I know, chicken was costing 50,000 naira in my area. I mean, chicken, 50,000, 45,000. Chicken. It doesn't make sense.
Absolutely.
Live chicken, I meant to say. So, and it's a shame that that country suffers from food inflation. I don't understand how that happens. I don't understand. Because as you know me by now, I'm a farmer's son. Anything grows in that country. Anything. But we are so lazy that we don't even want to plant anything, or the ones we plant, bandits and herdsmen will not allow us to be on the farm to work. The one that we harvested is not preserved, is wasted. So to talk of food insecurity in Nigeria is an abnormality. Kogi State, which is where I come from, the agricultural land can feed the whole of Nigeria. Put Benue inside.
All right.
So it's that government should be specifically targeting and say, look, and I keep telling people, hunger can be dealt with within a planting season. That's it. Within 1 year. That's a planting season, by the way. And we can actually have overall all the year round plantation growth,
All right. All right.
cropping, because water we have.
All right, Doc, before we go, let me put you on a spot now. What is your GDP target for Nigeria in 2026? Of course, in the last, the outgone year, talking about 2025, we're able to achieve about 4%. Do you think that target is realistic this year, or would you expect more, or a better GDP this year?
You know, the rebasing as what will I say, lowered or improved the way we calculate the GDP, and based upon that, I see it going up. But like I said all the time, GDP does not mean economic growth. It does not, because like I keep telling people, like the Dangote, the 6 people that you put on, those 6 people can begin jack up the GDP of Nigeria. Do you see how narrow that is? These 6 people we brought up now can be the reason why GDP had jumped up from 4 to 5 to 6. 6 people. So GDP is not a measure of economic performance. It's not that's not something that gives me joy anyway. But yes, it gives good reading for investors, but investors themselves are on ground and they know the reality on ground. So, but it's better to be upward than to go. So I believe the GDP will rise, especially if the political environment is not too hot. It's not too chaotic, because there's too much on politics rather than on governance.
All right. Thank you so much, Dr. Sam Omale, President, CEO, Rock Global Investment Network. Of course, you were a governorship candidate in the 2023 election in Kogi State. I don't know if you are throwing your heart into the ring again. This, of course, it's political season.
Of course.
Are you running again?
Yeah, of course. Of course, because I mean, nothing has changed. Of course, I'm right in the race.
All right. That is good to know. Thank you so much. We appreciate your contributions on the show.
Thank you. God bless.
All right, we appreciate it. With that, the wrap on the show today. We'll be back again tomorrow. I am Yusuf Akogu.